Did you know that Toyota is developing a Suzuki Jimny killer? That's what they're calling it internally. That's right, Toyota has seen just how popular the Suzuki Jimny is, and the fact is, it is totally uncontested in today's car market. Where do you go if you want a reliable off-roader that costs under $30,000 new? Literally, only the Suzuki Jimny. But that's changing with the Toyota LandCruiser Mini due for a 2024 release, which is really soon. Let's talk about that. We all know of the Suzuki Jimny now, but for those that don't, here's a quick crash course. The current 4th gen Suzuki Jimny, it launched in 2018, which is crazy to think it was released almost 6 years ago now. Its whole premise is to be a cheap, no frills off-roader that can take on vehicles much more expensive. It's built on a ladder frame chassis with a low range transfer case and part-time four-wheel drive. Because it is tiny as a 3-door, it has insanely good off-road credentials, including an approach angle of 37 degrees, a ramp breakover angle of 28 degrees, and an insane departure angle of 49 degrees. To put that into perspective, the Nissan Patrol Warrior I recently reviewed, a $110,000 custom Nissan Patrol designed specifically for off-roading, it has a slightly better approach angle of 40 degrees, but a way worse departure angle of 23.3 degrees. Add a lift kit and some bigger tires to the Suzuki Jimny, it can pretty much demolish everything off-road for less than 30 grand. Easy to see why it's so popular, right? It's also coming out in a 5-door variant, which will reduce its off-road capabilities slightly, but it will make it significantly better to live with, because boy, is the Suzuki Jimny compromised as heck. The interior design is cool, but really cheap and nasty feeling in most places. The seats are genuinely terrible. They're like 2 slabs of foam that provide almost no support. Not to mention, it is so slow. One of the slowest cars I've ever driven with a naturally aspirated 1.5 litre 4-cylinder petrol engine. It has just 75 kilowatt of power and 130 newton meters of torque. And driving on long journeys is actually really tiring because it is shaped like a brick and only weighs just over a ton. It actually gets pushed in the sides while driving on the highway. You go like that. So yeah, the Suzuki Jimny, it's really cool, but it has massive deficiencies. And that's where Toyota think they can beat Suzuki Jimny with their LandCruiser Mini. So what is the Toyota LandCruiser Mini? Well, it's hard for brands like Toyota to not notice the success of the Suzuki Jimny. The Suzuki Jimny Auto variant just received a shipment of 500 units, which we reported on our daily news and review site, CarSauce.com. Go check that out, by the way, after this. But they sold out of those in less than 5 hours. I'll link that article down below, just below that like button for those that are interested. Let's be honest though, Toyota makes some of the best off-roaders out there, like the Toyota LandCruiser 300 series, the Hilux, and the 70 series LandCruiser. So with as much resources as Toyota has, a mini LandCruiser really does make sense. Here's what we know so far about the Toyota LandCruiser Mini. So first of all, we've actually seen the LandCruiser Mini from 2021 when it was first unveiled as the compact cruiser EV concept. This is a really common tactic by brands. Usually we have a prototype which is released as a concept car, and then the production model comes a couple of years later. The LandCruiser Mini will be built on an all-new heavy-duty ladder frame platform, and according to leaks, it should be about 4,350 millimeters long, 1,860 millimeters wide, and 1,880 millimeters in height. That would actually make it significantly longer than the upcoming Suzuki Jimny 5-door by about 400 millimeters, but it would still be smaller than a Toyota Corolla Cross. Rumored pricing is also looking really good. A starting price of about 42,000 Australian dollars or 26,000 US dollars would make it a little bit more expensive than the Jimny. But as we saw earlier, the Jimny is priced so well because it lacks any comfort features and also most active safety features. Engine choice is going to be really interesting. Rumors are suggesting we're looking at either the 2-litre naturally aspirated petrol engine from the current Corolla Cross with about 126 kilowatt of power and 202 newton meters of torque, Or there's also the hybrid version of that same engine that puts out 146 kilowatt of power. And of course, Toyota won't tell us what its actual torque output is. But with us Aussies loving a good diesel engine, it's also possible we could see the Hilux's 2.8 litre turbo diesel engine, especially considering the LandCruiser Mini is reportedly going to be built in Thailand, where the Hilux is also made. That would mean 150 kilowatt of power and 500 newton meters of torque, but personally I feel that this is less likely than the petrol drivetrains. You can also expect an electric version of the LandCruiser Mini, but that will launch much later. Either way, it's an exciting future for the LandCruiser Mini. I'm curious about which you would take though, the LandCruiser Mini or the Suzuki Jimny. It'll be a passionate debate in the comment section, no doubt. Also considering it will be launching in 2024, which is literally around the corner, make sure you stay up to date with our website, carsauce.com, for breaking car news and reviews. Ciao for now.